welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show where dishonesty is sometimes the best policy. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a woman who 30 years ago gave up nursing to become a comedian. So if you're in a waiting room hoping she'll be out to see you soon, she won't. It's Jo Brand. And a former Labour MP who, when he appeared on Strictly, was described by the other contestants as a good hugger in times of need. Let's be clear, there'll be no times of need tonight. Please welcome Ed Balls. And on David Mitchell's team, a former Pussycat Doll, dancer and TV personality who's also released a fragrance. I did that once. I blamed it on the dog. Kimberly Wyatt. And a comedian who once snogged 2 Spice Girls, providing the inspiration for their big hit, Stop Right Now, thank you very much, David Baddiel. And we begin with round 1, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They have no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction, and we're starting tonight with Ed.
Don't let me down, you've had years of training.
I once negotiated the Home Office budget whilst crawling through a children's ball pit.
Right. David.
What was your job at that point?
I was the economic advisor to the Chancellor to the Treasury, and so my job to sort out public spending.
When you say negotiated it, who else was in the ball pit?
I was the only person employed by the government in the ball pit, but I was on the phone to number 10 Downing Street to arguing about money.
Do you have children?
Yeah.
Why had you gone into the ball pit? Was it for a private sort of ball area to discuss the Home Office budget, or were the children you were responsible for getting in trouble with the ball?
There was a younger one which was in quite a lot of trouble.
So you'd gone into the ball pit to extricate some ball-based crisis?
On the phone.
So the call started before you went into the
I'm
ball
just
pit.
sitting there having a coffee.
Yep.
So what was the crisis?
Phone rings. David Blunkett wanted more police officers.
No. What was the crisis in the ball? What was the political crisis? What was the problem in the ball pit that made you go in?
Yeah.
There was screaming and cries for help. It was a blockage.
And there are tunnels and things, are there?
Tunnels and slides, and
right.
the way it works is you have ball pit, tunnels, kind of ladders, all sorts of
Tommy
stuff.
Cooper impression.
Ball pit, tunnels, tunnels, ball pit, tunnels.
Can I just ask, was the blockage balls or was it a child?
I think
If you
was,
went in there, wouldn't you have caused a bigger blockage?
It was... But sometimes you just got to go in.
Who has rung you up?
Jeremy Hayward. He was the principal private secretary to the Prime Minister, and he's now the Cabinet Secretary. The problem was David Blunkett wanted the police officers. We didn't have enough money, and Jeremy was ringing me to try and sort out the problem. And I'm on the phone, and suddenly the cry comes, and do I admit to Downing Street that I'm in a children's ball player, or do I try and bluff it out? I didn't want to admit that I was more focused on children's ball areas than sorting out...
You're right about that, Ed. That wouldn't have helped.
So let's go through the phone call. I will be the person. Who was the person that called you?
Jeremy Hayward.
Jeremy
He's the
Hayward.
Cabinet Secretary of the country.
OK, so and what sort of person is he? Give me something to work with.
Nice guy. So he rings up and says, we've got a problem.
No, Ed, you don't understand. I want the voice. Is he northern, southern, old, young?
Sounds exactly like Tom Jones.
Excellent. So listen. Where is he? Old, young, north, south?
My age.
Your age, quite old. He's north, south.
At the time we were young.
You were young.
He's sort of southern, I would say.
OK, Ed, We've got a real problem. Oh, look, he's working up there.
So I'm like this.
OK.
And I'm talking to you, I'm saying, you know...
I'll play a
wasn't
ball
an iPhone.
blockage.
And then I'm sort of... I'm saying...
Be a child,
I'm
then.
saying...
Help!
It's not clear. It's not clear. It's value... It's not clear. It's not clear. It's value for money.
I'll tell you what, there's your publicity shot.
So, Ed, how did this all resolve itself? Did
We got
you
the police
solve...
officers in the end, but not the...
No!
Ed, we're not so concerned about we're worried about the children. The children. I mean, I'm wondering, do you still have access to them?
Basically, I grabbed the legs and I pulled.
Yeah?
Pulled him out.
Out he came.
And was it your child?
What do you think?
This is entirely possible.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
The only thing that makes me doubt it, really, is the coincidence of the balls at the location and the balls in Ed's surname.
That's why you doubt it.
That's why I doubt
Really?
it. Yes, because that's what
No, but-
makes it something that someone would have invented and written on a card to be read out for a television programme.
What do you think, Kimberly?
Well, can I
Does it sound truthful to you?
There's a big part of me that does think it's true. Yes. Because I think that Ed Balls, every time he talks about things, the job comes first.
Oh, always.
So I could see him kind of going through the ball pit, making sure that this sort of came first, but still making sure, because he's a lovely guy, making
he's
sure
a
the
great
kids
guy.
are okay.
He's a great guy.
You're the captain, but if
Yeah.
your only quibble is the pun of balls and balls, then I think we should ignore that and move
I
forward.
think it may be too late to ignore it. You both think it's true. We'll say true.
You're going to say it's true. OK. Ed, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, true.
Yes, it's true. Ed did negotiate a Home Office budget whilst crawling through a ball pit. Kimberly, you're next.
Okay. My ability to do the splits proved invaluable when my car broke down.
Right.
Wow.
Lee's team.
To establish the facts, can you do the splits?
Yes, I can.
Well, here's an
Could
interesting
you-
thing, because may
could
I
you-
be the first to say, Kimberly, that you... I mean, I'm taking a risk saying it, but are pregnant.
I am pregnant.
Thank God. We wouldn't ask you to do the splits now, obviously.
If you want to see the splits,
Not
I
whilst you're
can
pregnant.
do them.
You could do the splits now, even though you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Let's
What are
see
you,
it.
some kind of freak?
Let's hold that for a
I'm a
minute. Let's hold that.
dancer.
For now, let's assume she can.
Hang on. The whole nation now wants
You're
to see
turning down the chance
splits.
to see a pregnant pussycat doll do the splits.
Look,
I can't believe
Can
it.
you? It's not the whole nation. It's roughly half.
that is so untrue.
Okay, ready?
Kimberly, I'm very happy to tell you, it's a boy.
OK, let's assume that she can do the split.
She can do the
She can do
split.
the split, but the
We
card...
thought-
Yeah, but well, the card doesn't say I can do the splits, does it? The card says... What did the card say again?
My ability to do the splits proved invaluable when my car broke down.
OK,
Right,
so
now-
what happened?
Yes.
So I was driving to LA to look for a job as a dancer, and my car started smoking and, like, leaking. So I pulled to the nearest truck stop or...
Petrol station, or
petrol
services.
station, thank
Services.
you, yes. And wanted to fix the car myself. So I intended to lift the bonnet...
Good start.
and assess the situation and fix it.
Right.
But the bonnet of the car was really heavy.
Can I not just check? Don't you lot call it the hood?
I do, but I've been here, living here for 5 years, so my language is starting to shift.
Or get better, as we call it.
My husband says he's fixing me, yes. So the bonnet is really heavy, and the thing that holds the bonnet up is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, dear.
I'm in a pickle. So I look.
Is your leg about to...
So I look for a
you're not going to
stick.
tell her. No way. Is that where this is leading?
I know I want to put oil in my car, and I need 2 hands to do it.
No.
So the
No
shop helped me
way.
make like a funnel.
No.
And I had the other hand with the oil, but
Yeah.
I needed to get the bonnet up. So I used my leg.
No.
What could you
So
get
I
a truck
could
driver?
fill the oil.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, even better. There was someone helping you with the thing. Why didn't you say, actually, is there any chance you could hold it? And that's when the little Welsh helper said, no, I think it's better that you do it. I think it'd be better if you did it.
So the hood is up, you've got your leg up. What happened then?
Then I was putting oil in my car, in the engine. I heard a couple of guys chuckling
While doing the splits?
while doing the
Why
split.
didn't you ask the guys to help you?
Well, you know what, Lee? That's exactly what happened. I turned around and I said, do you want to help me?
And
they
these
both...
2 chuckling guys, they weren't the Chuckle Brothers, were they?
They may have been. They crossed their arms and said, mm-mm, and continued to laugh.
So is there not a world in which you can put everything on the floor, lift the hood up with one hand,
yes.
take the lid off, get the funnel, put the funnel
Hang on,
in...
where are you putting the chicken and the fox?
I suppose you're reaching down a bit, but I suppose it's tricky. But it would definitely be... It would be tricky, but it would be higher up the list than I'll use my foot.
So what do you think? Is it the truth?
Well, I'm torn here because I wouldn't give it a moment's thought. This is definitely a lie. But she can do it. She can stick her leg in the air quite high.
It's a lie, she can do it, but she didn't need to do it. She wouldn't have done it.
What I can't believe is that if 2 old gits won't come and help you, of all people, to do your car, then America is finished. So I kind of don't believe it, really. I can't believe that 2 people wouldn't
Because
help.
this has turned the British
If it
public.
was me...
Up until now, we were quite positive about your country.
The special relationship ends
It
here.
ends now.
So, Lee, what's it going to be?
So you're both saying a lie. I'll go with my team and say it's got to be a lie.
It's a lie. Kimberly, truth or lie?
It is true.
No way!
Yes, it's true. Kimberly did hold her car bonnet open by doing the splits. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Billy. So, Ed, what is Billy to you?
This is Billy, my karaoke partner. When I let rip as Lionel Richie, he was my Diana Ross.
Right. Joe, how do you know Billy?
This is my neighbour, Billy. I once stole his wheelie bin, then texted him instead of my husband to tell him what I'd done.
Right. Finally, Lee, what is your relationship with Billy?
This is Billy. He drives a barge. And once, whilst I was enjoying a view from a bridge, I accidentally dropped my ice cream on his head.
There we have it. So, is Billy Ed's karaoke companion, Joe's dustbin donor, or Lee's sticky skipper? David's team, where do you want to begin?
We'll start with Ed. What was the karaoke occasion?
It was a event at the Labour Party conference in Manchester.
What is Billy politically?
He's involved in the trade union movement.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
And did you know him before?
Of course, yeah.
And you were singing what song?
Endless Love.
Endless Love. OK. Can you do it now?
Do you know the bit in the middle?
Yeah. It's not the version of Endless Love I know. I'm going to be honest.
Well, have you not heard the Morse code version before?
You know it's a ballad, don't you, Endless Love? It's a slow ballad.
You see, I don't know anything about music, as you know. I disapprove of it. But Endless Love I've heard of as a song, and I reckon if I heard it, I would recognise it. That hasn't happened yet. and you said that you were Lionel Richie and that Billy was Diana Ross.
It's a difficult leap to make, to picture Billy... I mean, he's not a natural Diana Ross, is he?
No.
We don't know what Billy sounds like. That's the great handicap.
Or, indeed, what Diana Ross looks like off stage.
But when you were doing this, how many people were there?
About 250.
And you sang in front of 250 people?
Yeah.
Goodness me, all right.
And they call for more.
More what?
Drink.
More drink.
So this is like an evening event at the Labour Party conference?
Yeah, in 2010.
So who's there? Is it?
It was at the end of the Labour leadership election campaign.
Yeah.
I didn't win the election, but we had the best end-of-campaign party by far.
Well, that's the main thing, isn't it?
Perhaps you'd expected... The thing is, you shouldn't start planning the end-of-campaign party too early. Maybe the more slapdash end-of-campaign parties are, ironically, at the end of the more focused campaign.
All right, so who would you like to quiz next?
Joe, he is your neighbour.
Yeah.
I've been to your house.
Yeah.
I never saw him.
He was out with his mates, Stan and Fred. They were doing the Supremes that night.
Why did you target Billy's bin?
Because, actually, in the past, Billy had taken our bin.
Had you been binless since Billy stole your bin?
No, he swapped them over, because our bin's nicer than his. And on a couple of occasions... Because when the bin men come down the road, they don't always distribute them back outside the houses. So you have to go down the road looking for... And on a couple of occasions, I noticed he'd slid our bin into his drive.
He'd swapped your bins,
Yeah.
and had you swapped them back?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
It was a chain reaction.
And had you then...
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I know what David's going to ask. Why did I steal Billy's manky bin?
Yes!
Yeah. Just for the hell of it, for a joke. I just took it, right, and I hid it.
Explain the text message thing. I didn't quite grasp that.
Well, I meant to send a text to my husband saying, guess what? I've just stolen Billy's bin, so knickers to him. Sorry, Billy. And unfortunately, I sent it to him.
Joe's husband is called Bernie, and he is called Billy. So it is possible that they are close on her phone.
Oh,
yes, that's
very good.
That is...
Very good.
Are you friends with Billy?
I thought you were going to say you're friends with
Bernie.
No, not really.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, no. I'm not too close to Bernie, but I'm a bit too close to Billy.
And how did he react? Once you'd sent the text to him, did he respond to you? How did it go?
Yeah, he texted back, I don't think this is meant for me.
Right.
I think here's the problem. I think Joe has definitely done this with someone in her neighbourhood. But is it Billy?
Whereas...
I don't know if it's him.
Whereas Lee definitely hasn't dropped an ice cream on a barge. We know that.
That's an assumption.
No, and I'm very happy to spend up to 40 minutes of my life pointlessly discussing it. So, Lee, tell me what happened with you and the ice cream.
I was on a bridge. I was admiring the view.
What bridge?
What is a bridge? It spans water.
Yes, which
Where
bridge?
is the bridge?
The bridge was just over the water.
Which water?
The water under the bridge.
Name the waterway.
I was on Richmond Bridge, which was in... Oh, no, where is it? Well, anyway, I was on Richmond Bridge, and the water in question was, in fact, the River Severn.
Was it?
I'm not an idiot. You won't be able to get me, mate. River Thames.
Yeah.
A barge went past.
Yeah. And you had an ice cream, so it was summer, was it?
Might have been. You can get ice creams in the winter nowadays, you know.
What sort of ice cream?
Yeah.
Like that one, but something in my hand.
This is...
So, yes, I was holding an ice cream.
A cornet.
Pardon?
A cone or cornet,
Yes.
as they're called.
Yeah, I was holding my ice cream.
What flavour of ice cream? What flavour of ice cream?
Your standard vanilla.
OK.
Standard vanilla.
Standard vanilla, yeah.
OK.
That was a lovely Adamant song, wasn't it?
You took chain reaction! You did it!
What event events took place for the ice cream to fall out of your hand?
I was leaning over the bridge. I'd done all the things you're supposed to do when an ice cream is melting. I told the little one to lick the edges.
Yeah.
Right?
The little one?
The little one, Rob. So I've got my cone. I'm looking over the edge of the bridge like that, and I'm looking at the water, I'm looking at the view, and I'm looking round. It's all very lovely. And I heard that noise you hear, that... And, of course, it was Rob speaking Welsh. And... which apparently is Welsh for no, lick your own edges. And that's when, beneath my legs, beneath the bridge, beneath my legs, slid a large barge, and I looked over like that, and I thought, oh, that's a nice barge, I thought.
So you really craned over to get a good view of the barge.
I did.
Taking your ice cream with you across the thick stone balustrade of the bridge.
I leaned
over. Come with me, ice cream. Maybe you'd like to see as well. Come on, Vanilla. Let's have a look.
I didn't go the full, not 103, 90 degrees. I sort of did a 45. I sort of leaned over that. But as any man will tell you, or woman, you only have to lean, what? That much, and your ice cream can go.
So Billy, can I move on to Billy?
Please move on to Billy.
Was he standing like that?
Standing exactly like that, and then in front of him a massive boat.
So he's not actually... because he's standing a little bit like those women on the end of big boats used to...
I'll ask you a question, David, right? Is he standing more like a man on a barge or more like Diana Ross?
All right. We need an answer. So, David's team. Is Billy Ed's karaoke companion, Joe's dustbin donor, or Lee's sticky skipper?
Only in the Beano would an ice cream land on a bald man's head in that way. Yeah. Although, what do you think, Kimberly?
I think it's between Joe and Ed.
Right.
Am I not getting a look in at all?
No.
Good, because even I was doubting it.
I could see Ed and Billy arm in arm singing karaoke.
I sort of think it's Joe, because I could believe that Joe would, you know, unnecessarily reignite some unpleasantness in her street.
All right, so what are you going to say?
It's a terrible, terrible story, but I'm afraid I think it's true.
You're going for Joe?
Joe.
I think we are going with Joe.
OK. Billy, would you please reveal your true identity?
I am Billy, and I was the Diana Ross to my Lionel Richie.
Yes. Billy really was Ed's karaoke companion, and it gets better.
Oh, my gosh.
It's interesting new definition of the word better.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a treat. The lyrics are on the auto cue just there, OK?
I can't see the words.
Now listen.
That's it. That's what we want.
Right, I'm going to hold it for you,
Well done, Rob.
OK?
Yeah.
Music maestro, please.
My love, there's only you in my life. The only thing that's right.
This is your bit, Billy. This is your bit.
My...
Not yet.
Oh.
My
First love, your every breath I take, your every step I make.
Ready, Ed?
And I want to share all my love with you. You know I can do. Oh, you know I can do. And you tell me how much you can. 'Cause all my love inside, I'll give it all to you. My endless love, my endless love. What are we doing?
Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's David Baddiel.
In a quest to improve my jawline, I once bought myself a chin gym.
Please, team.
Right.
I think that's true.
What's a chin gym, first of all?
A chin gym is a device to help you if you have a double or triple chin. And it's like a sort of L-shaped bit of plastic, and you bite it really hard, and then you have tiny little weights that you put on the other end of it, and you're like, ah! And then you take weights off, put them back on again. That's a chin gym.
What was the thing you were trying to solve? Was your chin particularly weak, or was it just fat? What was the diagnosis?
I have a beard, and I only really have a beard because I have a double chin. And I think, wrongly, obviously, that this gives me the illusion of a jawline. And the reason that I have that is that the chin gym didn't work.
How many times a day did you have to do it, then?
Well, one of the things about the chin gym is you can do it whilst you're doing something else. While you're writing, for example, while you're watching telly, you can do it. While you're reading.
But you were really trying to tone up your chin, were you?
Yes.
Try to tone it. I mean,
You're saying this as if you can't think of the idea of toning up your chin.
I can't.
That surprises me.
All you can do is build muscle up, can't you?
There's no muscle in your chin.
There's no muscle there.
Yeah, there
That's
is
what I'm
muscle in
saying.
your chin.
Yes, there's muscles. There's muscles
I know
everywhere.
there's muscles everywhere,
Muscles
but I
in
mean,
your jaw.
this is all. I'm feeling this, and I'm feeling a lot of. Don't touch me, balls. I'm feeling.
Don't touch me balls.
Can I ask you, because when people exercise in the gym, they'll often put on music. So would you put on The Eye of the Tiger or...
There aren't that many chin-based...
Chin, chimmery, chim, chimmery, chim, chim, chiroo.
Good point, although you called it chim-chimmery, which I think is wrong.
Chim chimney.
Chim-chimney.
It's not chin. Chin-chinnery. What would a chinnery be? A place chins were stored. like a serial killer would store the chins of its victims. See the chinnery.
What kind of serial killer is that?
A very eccentric serial killer. I only keep the chins.
How long did you stick with it as a method? How long did you
Well, it
go
was
with
in my house for about 7 years, but I used it perhaps twice.
Twice? So what do you think? Is he telling the truth?
Well, I think it's true.
You do?
Oh.
Yeah, I can imagine people being a bit desperate to get rid of their double chin and thinking...
But the way he's described the contraption, I'm just thinking it's nothing that a ruler and a small can of beans wouldn't sort out. You're saying...
Well, I think it could be true.
Well, then let's say it's true, shall we then? We'll go for true.
All right.
Preposterous,
True.
but true.
David, the chin gym, truth or lie?
It is...
Yes.
That noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that the scores are tied. It's a draw. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.